Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat, we conclude the festival of Passover. We celebrate, according to in Israel and the Reform movement, the seventh or last day of Passover on this Shabbat. And we will have services on Shabbat, 10 a.m. only, no 9 a.m. service, when we will also recite our Yizkor prayers. Beginning with the second day of Passover, however, we began the counting of the Omer, Sfirat HaOmer. We have all experienced how unreliable our sense of time can be. In our ordinary life, time seems to speed by, especially as we get older. We find ourselves saying, where's the week gone? And where has the year gone? Or the years gone? Sometimes even larger chunks of time seem to disappear without a trace. On the other hand, time can also drag by so slowly. Lying in a hospital bed, watching the second hand as it ticks its way around the clock face can make us feel that our time here is endless. So too, living in our homes isolated in quarantine during a year-long pandemic. During this season of the year, Judaism offers a great spiritual teaching about time. For 7 weeks, the weeks between Passover and Shavuot, we are instructed to count each day in a formal, ritualized way. This is called the counting of the Omer, Sfirat HaOmer, and is based on an ancient biblical celebration of the spring harvest. In biblical days, a measure, or called an Omer, of the first barley harvest was brought to the temple each day for 49 days. After the completion of this ritual by which the Israelites showed their gratitude for the grain, the people were allowed to enjoy the eating of the new harvest. When the temple was destroyed and the Jewish people became less agricultural in lifestyle, this ritual might have quietly faded. But the practice of time awareness was too valuable to lose. The counting of the Omer was maintained as a spiritual practice, although its interpretation changed. The 49 days from Passover to Shavuot came to represent the transition from slavery to freedom, from being enslaved in Egypt to freely encountering God at Mount Sinai. For each of these 49 days, we acknowledge one more step in our journey toward freedom. The counting of the Omer also offers us a spiritual lesson. Each evening after sundown, we put aside what we are doing and say the ritual words, today is the 12th or the 15th or the 19th or whatever day of the Omer it is. This brief moment in time gives us the opportunity for reflection. We might notice the difference between being fully in the present through this ritual act and how we spend much of the rest of our time. Often our unhappiness comes from reviewing past events or anticipating and fearing future events, particularly the kinds of events that are not sacred or growthful to us. Especially in challenging or troubling times, when we can pause in the present moment and put aside thoughts of past and future, we might gain an added measure of clarity, reconnect with a broader, more meaningful perspective, or discover other more pleasant things. When we can rest our mind in the present moment, we might discover a sense of peace, gratitude, contentment. When you take a moment to be fully in the present moment, what positive feelings might arise in you? The psalmist teaches us, or the psalmist said, teach us so to number our days that we might attain a heart of wisdom. What does having a heart of wisdom mean to you? Perhaps in this practice of counting these days of the Omer, we might reflect upon what it will mean to regain our freedom from this pandemic. Perhaps counting these days will help us count the numbers of people who have had such a challenging and difficult time during this pandemic and might arouse us to more acts of kindness. I pray that during this time of Sfirat HaOmer, each day counts and we count the days to when we can all once again be together. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.